To start with xCloner, add a new solid and add xCloner to it. In my composition, I have these animations of stick figures, this one running, something like this. And we can turn, and I will also add a tint effect, so they're a little bit different in color. So in my xCloner, we can navigate to layers, selection, and choose the layers from here. Now, as you can see, the tint effect is not shown at the moment. We can go to source and instead of just source, choose effects and masks. So that will also take any effects applied to it or masks in consideration. Down in transform in layer section, we have each of up to 20 layers you can choose. You have each layer's scale and rotation. So you can scale down individual layer. Let's just offset the position a little bit so you can see better what's going on. We'll talk about this in a moment. So as you can see, we can change each layer's scale or rotation. In visibility, you can change whether certain layer is turned on or off. So it toggles the visibility of each layer. And if we go up, the first thing we have is clone type. And we have three options. So linear mode, radial mode, and grid mode. If you have more than one layer selected, you can choose the clone order. Iterative mode is where you cycle the clones in order. So layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. If you choose blending mode, it interpolates between adjacent layers. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and so on. And in random, as the name says, it randomly places clones. In random section, you can choose the seed, and this can change. We are going to talk about this a little bit later. If your layers are very large, something like 4K, maybe it would be a good idea to scale them down and pre-compose them. That way you will have a much better performance in xCloner. In linear mode, after clone order, we can change the count, which is a number of clones. And you can add up to 10,000. I will keep now something like this. And in transform tab, you have two options, local and global. So this is a local transformation. So scale of each clone individually. In global, scale is done on all the clones together, and the pivot point is on first clone. Rotation is in local done on each clone individually, while global is rotating all the clones. Also pivot is at first clone on linear. And the position moves all the clones also. So it does move clones individually, but all of them at the same time. Now in offset, when the first option you have is clone offset mode. So the difference between end and step is when end mode is active, clones are evenly distributed between start and end point. So from here to here. That's the diff offset, for example, when end is active. This is the position between first and last clone. If we would to change this to step, this would be 66. So that is the position offset between this clone and this clone, or this clone or this clone. Same goes with rotation, scale, and opacity. Offset time is a little bit different. So if we offset the position like so, we can do it also down. If we would put this to step, then the value would go a bit faster because they are going between clones. Rotation. This is offset rotation. Scale. If you go negative, you have something like this going on. You can create really cool effects with this. Offset opacity. And what is interesting, if you change number of clones in end mode, they're going to change like this. But if you switch this to step mode and you change the number of clones, they're going to go like this. With offset time, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now let's go to random. So random position is pretty straightforward. So you can randomize position of clones in X and Y. And you can also change random scale as well as rotation, opacity, and time. As I said, we'll talk about this one as well a little bit later. If you change random seed, then you can have different seeds of randomization. Let's restart this, and I want to show you offset time. So just choose a layer again and set up the scene a little bit. Now, as you can tell, this animation is going uniformly from at the same time. But if we go to offset and offset time, now you can see what is going on. So it's offsetting frame in frame. So this is 24. So for example, if we set this to 10, from first clone to last clone, the time will be offset by 10 frames. Also in random time, you can randomize time in frames also. As so. In radial mode, we can adjust radius of clones, so how far apart from the center they are. Also, we can change number of clones. We also have a toggle called look at center, which basically adjusts clones rotation to point center. And then if we wanted to, we can change in local rotation, local clones rotation, to have something like this, which is quite interesting. We can also change clones start and end angle. And all the other controls, of course, clones scale, position, and rotation, locally or globally, scale or rotation. With the offset, we can, like in linear, change the offset position, just it looks a bit different. And offset rotation as well, scale, and opacity. And if we switch offset mode to step, if we create clones, can have an interesting effect. Or if we change offset clone offset mode to end, clones change in this way. With the random, also you can choose random position, scale, rotation, opacity, as well as time. In grid mode, you have option to choose a number of clones in x-axis and y-axis, as well as size and some other options as well. So if we choose increase the size a little bit in x and scale it down a bit in y, can choose also a number of clones in x and y. At the moment, the clone order is in iterative mode. You can also choose blending or random. I'll stick with iterative at the moment. So the transform controls are same like in linear or radial mode. In the offset, the difference is we have offset scale, opacity, and time in x, y coordinates. So if we offset scale in x, it offsets it in one direction. You can also do this in y. As well as opacity. And time. I'm gonna set this to 0. And position as well. If we do position, it's offsetting the position in y and x. So if we choose number of clones in end mode, it does it like this. And step mode, this is the effect we're getting. As well as the linear and radial mode, random position is randomizing position in x and y, scale, and rotation, as well as opacity and random time. and you can choose also random seed as well.